Oh no, if you're talking to me, I don't hear you. Mm-mm. Can't.
Hi, Stephanie. How are you?
But if you were talking to me, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, you're okay. I was actually talking to Anne. She had a couple questions for me before class, which is why I didn't turn on the mic just yet. But I will actually turn off the mic just a little bit. But we will be getting started in the next few minutes here. I'm just going to see if anybody else jumps on the Zoom or comes in person, and then we'll get started. Okay.
Thank you.
Of course. Alrighty, Stephanie, I think we're going to get started.
Hey,
All right, so I'm just going to clip this. I probably shouldn't have worn a turtleneck today, but we'll give it a go. Alrighty, so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. So the purpose of KWB orientation for both of you ladies is actually just to kind of show you all of the resources that we have available on our website. And the reason that we take specific time to really touch on this is because one, there is a lot on here, but two, this is not just a Keller Williams International website. This is specific to Valentine. So everything you're going to see on here are resources specifically brought to us for Valentine. Things that we have partnered, people we've partnered with, places we've partnered with, but also the things that are specific to the transactions that we're encountering while you're here. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you real quick. Our website is kwbresources.com. So if you guys would like to bookmark that at your next convenience, that's perfect. This is kind of the hub of information for Valentine, as I like to call it, somewhere I think you'll be really touching a lot, especially when it comes to what's going on in Valentine, what training events, what social events, what things are going on that I can be a part of. So please feel free to write this down, go to it as frequently as you'd like. I usually will encourage everybody to kind of feed back to this hub, just because, again, this is where you're going to find so much information. Happy to answer any questions for you guys, as always, but a lot of it can be found here. So we're going to go ahead and get started. This is just going to be the homepage when you do navigate to kwbresources.com. If you click here in the center button, there's a new agent tab, and you'll just go ahead and click here. I always like to show this to you guys first, obviously, because we are brand new. On the left-hand side, if you were to click on Learn More, it's actually going to take you to a quick little checklist that's just going to show you some of the stuff that you will be encountering as part of your onboarding process. So some of this is what's going to be asked of you as part of onboarding through paperwork and supplemental materials like your headshot and things like that I will ask for, just so you can keep that in mind. So these are the things that are going to be touched on in your paperwork. There is a little bit additional information needed that touches on those supplemental materials I'll ask for, but it also just gives you a point of reference as to who's going to be contacting you with what information, when you can kind of be expecting it, because I know that onboarding can be a little bit, okay, like it's just all up in the air. I'm not really sure what to expect. So this just kind of breaks down a little bit of what you can expect. And like I said, you're always welcome to ask me any questions because I do work really closely in the onboarding process. So please feel free to reach out if there's anything that stands out to you. But really what I like to focus on in this specific checklist here is the bottom here where it says things you can do immediately, because I know, again, even once you've onboarded, you're like, okay, but now what? Which is absolutely fine. I know real estate's pretty open-ended as you are kind of commanding your own business. So I do like to show you guys really quickly some of the things you can get started on. The first being to go to our website, really navigate it, familiarize yourselves with it, just because there is a lot of content on there that's going to be beneficial to you and at various points in your real estate career. It's not necessarily specific just to new agents. This is stuff that you can touch on at any point. I know a lot of our transaction partners, who I will highlight in a minute here, they even use this to pull up different resources, and they'll even tell you can find them there. But the next thing is to familiarize yourself with the office calendar. This is also going to be available on KWB Resources, and probably what's going to draw you to the website the most often, if not forms. So I will show you guys that in just a little bit, but kind of just getting comfortable with all of that. Feel free to use that as much as you'd like. The office calendar really does have everything in one spot. You can see months out in advance, but really it does highlight the whole month, everything we've got going on, and it gives you all the links you'll need to get signed up. The next is joining Ignite. So if you guys are especially new to real estate, we do have Ignite. It's actually beginning next Monday, which is super exciting. Ignite is a 9-session span, and it is designed to help build the foundation of your real estate career, especially if this is new to you. We actually have brought Ignite back to in person. We did do it online briefly through COVID, but it is back in person in our market center, and it's taught by the top 20% of our market center. So you'll be meeting with a lot of top producers who will be giving you firsthand experiences in the industry, but also specific to the Carolinas region. So it's very beneficial for you guys to be a part of. They're even going to take numbers here on these boards. I know that Stephanie, you might not be able to see them, so I'll kind of pan you that way if I can. We've got some boards all the way back here that are going to be used to keep track of some numbers so that they can help hold you guys accountable and hopefully get you guys the ball rolling and really get you guys into action right away. The next thing on here is to join our Facebook pages, which they will be highlighted here in the website, but also part of your onboarding process is I'll be emailing you some of that information as well. The Facebook pages are a really great way for you guys to get connected with other agents in the Market Center, just to know what's going on, but also so that you can reach out, get the ball rolling in business. Somebody could be posting about, hey, I've got an open house and I need an assistant for the open house, or hey, I just can't make it to this showing. Would somebody be willing to show my clients? We'll compensate for it. So it's a really great way for you guys to spring into action and really get connected with some of our agents here. It's another really great way also for you guys to phone a friend, so to speak. So if you have something going on in a transaction and you're not sure what to expect, and maybe you haven't had a chance to reach out to Sabre just yet, or your broker in charge, your key partner, but it's, hey, does anyone know who a great mover is? Anything like that, you're welcome to drop any questions in there, and people are happy to shed light and give some help based off their experiences. We are very open, and we are a family and big community in that respect. So it's a really great way for you guys to get in touch with our agents, and they're happy to help wherever they can. The next Facebook page that I will highlight just in a little bit here is going to be our strategic vendor Facebook page. That's actually going to be a Facebook page strictly of our vendor partners that we have vetted here at this Market Center. So, and they have glowing reviews from tons of our agents, but also just general community. So they're a really great option for you guys to get connected. So, you know, the rule is to share at least 3 options for your clients. So please feel free to use any of the people on there. They are wonderful. That Facebook page is a great way for you guys to find out who they are, what services they offer, but sometimes they are even promoting deals. That's another really great thing for you to leverage with your clients. So I will show you guys that as well in a moment. Attending office meetings, one of which is orientation. So congratulations, ladies, you've attended orientation. There are a few other meetings that are recurring that we do encourage you guys to attend, just because they do shed a lot of light on what the updates in Valentine and things like that. And I will be sure to show you guys that in just a moment when we get to that office calendar. And the last thing is registering your car with Warrington Preferred Parking. So we do have an office park here. There is technically assigned parking. I don't know if you guys have noticed. Well, not assigned like specific spots, but technically there are lots specific to different buildings here. There are a few visitor spots available. Don't worry if you did not park in a specific spot, you're okay. But what we like to tell you guys as a general rule of thumb is if you plan to be here probably more than a handful of times in the month, more specifically looking at fairly consistently, like every day you're here in the office, as much as we love to have you guys, I do like to tell you that it's probably a good idea for you to register your car at that point. I've never seen anybody get towed, I will be honest with you, but I do not want that to be what you guys go off of and then something happens. So if you guys plan to be here every day, which we would love to see you, please do register your car with Warrington Preferred Parking. The link is actually right here and you can click right on it. It'll take you where you need to go. It'll take you to preferred parking partnered with our office park. All you'll have to do is input your name and email address. You'll say we're building 2, in case it asks you, we are building 2. Say that your employer is Keller Williams Valentine. Give any vehicle information. You can do up to 3 vehicles under that same pass information. And it's just so that they have a record of your vehicle and there's no concern when they do see you guys here consistently. Again, I've never seen somebody get towed, but it's always a safe bet just to go ahead and register your car at that point, because this is free to you. So there really is not a whole lot of harm in doing it. And when they do mail out that pass, what they're going to do is they're going to hand deliver it to our building. It will be brought over to our mail room. And this is why I like to take a moment to touch on the mail room. We do have a mail room. It is going to be right to the right of our front desk. And you can always ask Sue at the front desk if you can't find it. But the mail room is going to be where any mail you have directed to the office. I know licenses a lot of times will come in here, like South Carolina license, things like that. But also your parking pass. Anything else you would like directed here will be found there. But there's a series of filing cabinets organized by last name. So you can go in and there's going to be a kind of a file folder in there with any envelopes and things like that that are directed to you. They'll be dropped right in there. And any packages that are delivered as well will also be set up there. It is a very good honor system here. We've never had any issues. So if there's a package that's mailed to you here, you'll be able to find it in the mail room and it'll be marked with your name on it. So that's a really great spot for you guys to check, especially when you guys are in the office. Maybe you're not here every day. So I would definitely recommend just kind of making a pit stop and making sure that there's nothing there. I know Sue's pretty good about when you get packages or especially when you do get licenses, like South Carolina licenses mailed, she'll usually shoot you over an email just to let you know that something very important has been dropped off in your mail folder so you know to go get it. So do feel free to check that out at any point, but know that your mail is safe if it's ever directed to the office. Maybe it didn't show up at your house, so you're a little worried. It might be here and it might be in your mail folder. So the next thing, and again, this was all under still the new agent tab. The next thing I'm going to show you is on this right-hand side under basic training. And I'm just going to move you quickly, Stephanie. All righty. So under basic training on this right-hand side, if you were to click learn more, it is actually going to take you to Scott Leroy Marketing. Scott Leroy Marketing is our third-party marketing consultant that we partner very closely with, especially during your onboarding process. They are actually responsible for setting up all of your Keller Cloud information. They give you your email address, a website. They also give you all of your login information for Command and things like that. So your CRM and different platforms like that, that's all going to come from Scott Leroy. Scott Leroy is also super great. They are very diligent in KWB technology, very familiar with it, and they're very, very helpful. So I do like to show you guys just a little bit more about Scott Leroy because they do have different training options and just resources that you guys are welcome to use. You go into this agent resources and go under training and click their training calendar option. There we go. It's going to ask you to type in your market center number. It is going to be number 350. And you'll notice that number kind of repeats a lot. It was in your login for your Macromotus paperwork. It's also part of our Wi-Fi password. So you'll start to notice that that's around a lot. So number 350 is our market center number. But just to go over, if you guys have questions again about anything tech-wise, and maybe you want to jump on a live class, it will be Zoom through Scott Leroy. But at from 1 to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday, they always have some kind of tech training available for you. Some of it's just print marketing. It's super simplistic, but something that you might want to get more comfortable with and maybe become a pro at. But every Tuesday, they do Command overview. So they're going to be touching on how to use that CRM to the best of your ability and become really proficient with it. But they also cover Facebook ads. So if there's anything ever that you feel like you can improve on, or maybe you just want to learn the basics of it and hear feedback from other people, please do feel free. You are welcome to jump on these classes. They're free to you. So feel free to jump on any of them that you may be interested in. And the next thing I'm going to show you guys really quickly, again, there's so much more on here, and this is just a quick gloss over. So feel free to navigate Scott Leroy as well as much as you'd like to. They even have, I know QR codes have been very popular. It's a quick way for somebody to pull up information digitally. If you guys ever are looking to have a QR code developed, Scott Leroy has a free QR code generator. All you have to do is give them the link of where they need to connect it to, and they'll send you a QR code back within probably close to 24 hours, I would say. So feel free to use that as well. Like I said, so much on here. But the next thing I do like to show you is this little store option. If you were to click on the store option, it'll take you to agentstore.com. Agentstore.com, again, has partnered very closely with Keller Williams. So they do have different templates available for any marketing, like business cards, name tags, anything like that that you can think of. You can check here first. They have great price points. And again, because they partner very closely with Keller Williams, they have pre-done templates. So all you have to do is drop in your information. It's almost all set up already for you so that it's covered by those advertising guidelines. You don't have to stress that as much. But you're welcome to drop in your personal information, drop a photo of yourself if the template allows for it, or if you'd like one visible. But they're, like I said, great price points, super easy. I was able to order actually 500 business cards myself. I used one of their pre-done templates, and it cost me only, I think it was like $34 or $40. So they've got a very, very good price point. So if that's something you guys are interested in grabbing, especially early on, once you've got your website and your email set up, please do feel free to check this out. Again, great name tags. Everything on here is a good price point. And then I think the only other thing to note is they do, even with the templates, there are options to scale out the corners. There are options to change the finish from matte to glossy, things like that. So they do have customizable options on there, even though it is a template. You guys are always welcome to go the Vista print route or anything like that. If you have somebody who does stationery, you are welcome to do that. The only thing is that, again, you might have that. Let me make sure that all my information is on there. Everything I legally need to have on there is there. And in that situation, I would always recommend venturing to the advertising guidelines, which can also be found on our website, and I'll show you that momentarily. Or you can run it by our BIC. Okay, so if you ever have any questions specifically, you're welcome to reach out to Sabra herself or one of our we like to call her assistant to the BIC, Tasha Viney. She's another really great person to reach out to because she is very familiar in all things broker in charge. So she'd be helpful as well in telling you whether or not you have all the information needed. But I'm just going to close out of this really quickly. Again, this is just another really great resource to share with you guys, especially as you're first starting out and trying to brand yourself. Down a little bit further, again, still under the new agent tab, these are going to be those Facebook pages that we did talk about. So this first one here is going to be the one, our internal Market Center Facebook page. Everything that you'll come across in this Market Center Facebook page is internal. It's only our agents and only our leadership staff. So it's just going to be that communication I was referring to about open houses, questions for other agents, things like that. I also will frequently be posting in there just updates about what's going on. I'll share about events. I'll share about different things we've got coming up in the Market Center, or different even online seminars that you guys can partake in. Some of them, very seldomly, I would say, come at a cost. And if they are at a price, it'll be specified either in the Eventbrite link or in the post that I make. But again, it's just a really great way for you guys to get involved in all those training opportunities. And every single time I will put the registration link right then and there as well. So it's super easy for you, just one click, and then you guys can get registered and signed up to join us. The next one is that vendor Facebook page, as I was mentioning. Both are private pages, so you will have to request to be a part of them. I'm an admin on both, so I can go in and accept you guys once I see that you've submitted a request. We do have a few other Facebook pages you're welcome to check out, but those are the two that I like to touch on the most, because I think those are the most valuable to you, especially right away. The next one here is Kellerism. I'm not necessarily going to take the time to click on that, but in case you guys have not noticed, and maybe you haven't because we're still fairly new, but Keller Williams does like to, how do we put this? They have their own language, so to speak, and it can be great, but it also can be a little confusing, especially if real estate's new to you and now you're talking about caps and all this stuff, and you're like, okay, what's a team leader? What is the equivalent of this? What does it mean to cap? What does it mean gross company dollar? If you guys have any questions about that, Kellerism is a whole kind of a Google folder, or Google PDF, sorry. It's a whole PDF, multiple pages, where it just breaks down all of those terms. It puts them in real world terms, and it just shares all of that, helps to kind of explain what people might be talking about around here. So if you're a little shy, maybe you don't want to ask somebody what that means, you're so welcome to use that at any point, but never feel embarrassed. I had the same questions, and I had the job before I necessarily knew some of it. So feel free to reach out to me if you have any of those questions, and I'd be happy to share it as well. But a really good stopping point if you guys are in a pinch and want to know a little bit of clarification. And the next thing here, again, still under that new agent tab, is under this command option. If you see to the left here, it says still have questions. So command is our CRM here at KW. Because it was built for KW by KW, it can have a couple issues here and there, and they acknowledge that. So if you guys have ever noticed anything, maybe it's just a point of confusion, because again, it is built specifically for KW by KW. Maybe it's not something you're familiar with. You are so welcome. We have answers.kw.com right here, and you can click right on it. It is an entire web page dedicated to frequently asked questions about commands. So if you have a question and you're like, there's no way I'm the first person to have a confusion point over this, please do check out this web page if that's something that works for your learning style. Again, there's so many options here dedicated to different learning styles, but answers.kw.com will break down a lot of those frequently asked questions about commands, and hopefully you guys can feel more comfortable navigating and learn a few things along the way. But there also is a sister website to this that I like to touch on, and it's called ideas.kw.com. Ideas.kw.com is actually an entire web page dedicated to suggestions on how to improve commands. So because, again, there can be little hiccups here and there, they do like to know about those hiccups and hear from everybody in KW as to how they can improve their website. So if you're a new agent, if you're a seasoned agent, whatever it is, they do like to hear from you guys, just because every opinion matters and every opinion comes from a different angle. So it can be very valuable. And for you guys as new agents, you guys do hold a lot of value, because they want it to be user friendly. They want it to be a simple transition for you. So feel free to share any suggestions on ideas.kw.com. They'd be happy to hear them. A little bit further, for Ignite, you can download materials here, but there are simpler ways to download materials. Once I have sent out an Ignite email to you, the materials will be, I will send you session 1 materials there in that email. There'll also be a link in that email that will be to the Google Drive folder, where you can access all the other session materials. So that's probably the easier way, just because it's right in your inbox. You don't have to dig for it. But if you have not gotten that yet, I usually send it once Scott Leroy comes back with your Keller Cloud setup completed. So you'll be getting that either today or tomorrow. And I'm probably going to be sending out a bulk email about it. So don't be afraid that you haven't gotten that one just yet. And then a little bit further. So one thing I would like to touch on really quickly, you'll notice that on this webpage, there are several different ways to pull to the same information. This is one way that you can get to the training calendar, but since it's not the simplest way, because you do have to go through a couple layers to get there, I'm going to show you a much simpler way just in just a few minutes. So this is one way to get there, yes, but there are simpler ways. There's also one way for you guys to book a conference room. So to book a conference room, we do have seven, I think, different conference rooms, 6 or 7. I never get the number straight. We have several different conference rooms varying in size and capacity for what they hold. We've got some that hold up to 4 people. We've also got some that hold up to 10 comfortably. So feel free to use a conference room at any point. We like to reserve them strictly for coaching, client meetings, and the other one is consulting, maybe with another agent as well. So if you guys ever feel like, hey, I'm supposed to be meeting with so-and-so, they're coming in and I really want to make sure that I give them a good impression. I want a private space. I don't want any interruptions. Feel free to schedule some time on our conference rooms. We are keeping them, I think it's 2 hours per day that we ask you guys to limit yourselves to. But you can, if you click on the book a conference room, it'll pull up an entire spreadsheet. It'll break down each conference room we have. At the top, it'll tell you the capacity they hold, and it'll show you, similar probably to something you've seen spreadsheet wise, all the time slots that are available. And you can just sit there and drag and drop basically to book some time in a conference room. It'll show you everybody else who's going to be using that conference room, so you know that there's not going to be any interference. So please do feel free to do that, especially when you are first starting out. You guys are not necessarily already registered to do it, so you may need to make an account quickly, but I can go in and also assist with that. So please let me know if there's anything I can do with you. If you have any troubles booking a conference room, just reach out to me and I'm happy to get everything set up for you. Under this homepage, we are just going to briefly come right back. Again, we were under that new agent tab that entire time, so now we're back on the homepage. If you scroll a little bit further down on the homepage, these are all the wonderful ladies on leadership here, and they are all here to help you. It tells you what they do and a brief contact information with their email. But these are all the wonderful ladies. Jules and Leah are actually the newest additions to our team, and they are our tech coordinators here. They are incredibly helpful and knowledgeable in Keller Williams technology. So if you guys ever have any questions, please do feel free to reach out to them, or you can also just book time with them, and I'll show you how to book time with them again all on this website because it's so helpful. I'll show you how you guys can book time with them as well. The next thing to note with the two of them is they also do help with concierge services. So if you guys have built up a little bit further and maybe, hey, I don't have time to send out this postcard, I need help with this, they're a great way to leverage your business. They are here to help you. So you guys can reach out to them. They're happy to help with branding. They're happy to help you send things out. That's something that they offer you guys, and they do have new agent packages as well. So if you guys have any general inquiry about that, feel free to reach out to them. They're super helpful, and they'd be happy to get you guys started. They will also brand or help build up through a free consultation. They will help you build up a social media marketing plan just for you that is specific to your business. So definitely something worth checking out. They also share a tech tip of the week. And that's usually just kind of giving you information based off a quick tutorial, giving you information as to how you can, again, become more proficient things, or just teaching something that you might not have known about command or DocuSign and how you guys can get things done faster, a little easier, whatever it may be. They've got lots of helpful tips and tools. A little bit further, we do come across the training calendar here. There is an easier way to pull to it, and that's just actually going to be this button right here. If you were to click on Office Calendar, it'll basically just drag the whole screen. You'll watch it move, and it'll pull you right to the calendar, save you some time. But the calendar does break down, like I said, everything we've got going on in the month. So if you were to click on today, for example, we obviously have KWB Orientation going on. You click on KWB Orientation, you can see right there we do have a Zoom link available. There's a passcode. For forms class, same thing. You can see the Zoom class, or you can see the Zoom link, you can see the passcode. Anything like that is always going to be present. We do have some exciting events that are in person as well. You can click on those. We've got Win with Sellers is actually going to be next Thursday. So if you guys want to mark your calendars, please join us for Win with Sellers. It is going to be teaching you guys how you can get more listings and how you guys can get started, win those appointments, score the appointments, but win over with your clients, and just make sure that you guys are doing the best you can. They're going to cover lead generation, nailing appointments, script practice, all the great things and more. And I know as the market is starting to shift, that's a big thing, is listings are incredibly important. So if you guys have any interest in learning a little bit more about how you guys can become better and more proficient in landing listings, go ahead and join Stuart Downey for that. But if you notice, you can see when and where. It's going to have the Eventbrite link, and then there's some information here as well about Win with Sellers, and there's almost always a flyer attached for those events as well. So some of the recurring meetings we have, one being orientation. That's going to be the second and fourth Thursday, or the first and third Thursday of the month from 9:30 to 10:30. Team meetings, we do the second and fourth Tuesday of the month. And that's where we kind of call it our Tuesday parties. Everyone gets together. This is usually a full room in here. And we just cover, what's coming up in Valentine's, some events, but we also talk about language of real estate. We talk about numbers, how's Valentine doing, what's going on in the market. We really cover a whole lot of information, but we make it such a fun and exciting way to do it. So please do join us for that. It's a really great community opportunity. We've got vendors who actually sit out here in the productivity hub. There's a few high top tables, Stephanie, since I know you can't see it. But we do have some high top tables out there. So we've got vendors who will come in and they'll bring out some treats for you guys, but they're also there for you guys to communicate and just get familiar and talk to them about what services they offer, how they can help your clients. So it's a great way to start meeting our vendors as well. So please do join us for team meetings. We always recommend that you guys be present for those. But you can see everything here. We've got Ignite as well with the materials, and I'll be adding the Zoom link here momentarily later. But you can go on here and you can see everything. You can see when T groups are meeting. You can see all the events we've got going on. And if it ever seems like it's cutting off, just feel free to click on the +3, whatever's sitting there at the bottom, and you can click on the individual events. So please do join us for as much as you'd like. If anything seems of interest to you, you are more than welcome to join us. If you have any questions about something, whether it's in person, online only, anything like that, please do reach out to me. I will say, as a general rule of thumb, if you see a Zoom link, that means that it is going to be online. I think we're all pretty comfortable with Zoom at this point. But if not, then you see an Eventbrite link, that means it's in person, or at least in person optional. And there's a registration link that we ask you guys to use, just so we know that we can count on you to be there. But we do have several other things on this calendar, so this is probably going to be your new best friend. So feel free to check it out as often as you'd like. We also have ALC meetings that are the third Tuesday of every month at 11. Those are another great thing for you guys to come to. We have, so our ALC is our Agent Leadership Council, if I remember the acronym correctly. So it's our Agent Leadership Council. This is 13 members of our top 20%. They've done interview processes and more to get this role, but they volunteer their time to improve Valentine, make it a better place, to really hone in on the culture here. So we've got different committees that meet, and I'll show you who those lovely members of ALC are just in a moment. But they are great. They do committee meetings once a month where you guys are welcome to come meet with them and learn from them, share your feedback, just sit in on a meeting. You guys can join into the committees you want. So I'll show you how you guys can get to know who their chairs are. But we also do have forms classes, and I do like to take a moment. Our forms classes are incredibly valuable. Our broker in charge, Sabra, will actually come on and teach these herself. It is Zoom only, based off of Sabra just staying at home for a little bit. But we do have, through our forms classes, she will go over the forms necessary for a given transaction. So every Thursday, or at least for the 4 Thursdays, if there's ever a 5th Thursday, then you're off. But 4 Thursdays of the month, which is a typical month, from 1 to 3, there are Zoom meetings, and Sabra will go over North Carolina listing forms. She'll go over North Carolina buyer forms the next week. And then the 3rd and 4th week, she'll do South Carolina. So if you guys ever get South Carolina license, she'll do South Carolina listing and South Carolina buyers. But everything else, she just goes over the forms. I know recently they've also been updating a lot of the forms. So she's also going over a lot of those updates and sharing what's changed. So these are something that I like to say, like, never go out of style. So even though you're a new agent, while this is super helpful for you now, you are more than welcome to join these when you're 3 years down the line, just because, hey, something's changing and I want to make sure I'm really comfortable with the changes. Please do jump on those calls. She is so knowledgeable and so helpful. And this is our lovely Sabra. She is incredibly helpful, and she is our broker in charge. Her email is listed right there. So please do feel free to reach out to her anytime that you guys have any questions. She's just a super, super great person to get to know. She's just a very lovable lady and very knowledgeable. So she will help us keep all of us out of real estate jail. So feel free to reach out to her at any time you need to. The next little bit here is just introducing you to the ALC. It shares what committee they serve on. So these are some of our wonderful top 20% who serve on as chairs. And they're, again, great points of contact, great people just to connect with. All of their emails are listed, and it says what committee they serve on. And in each team meeting, a representative from their committee will speak. So you guys can get a little bit more information on what their committee does as well. And you'll have the opportunity to introduce yourselves to them. So please do familiarize yourself with these people. They're all so great and helpful. So if you see them in the hall, stop and say hi to them, ask them a question if you like. They're all very, very friendly, and they want to help make Valentine a better place and also help improve your business as much as they can. So if you've got any questions specific to that, they're happy to share. We also have our productivity coaches here. So as part of your onboarding, especially when you're new to the business. Productivity coach is one of the great pillars of your kind of mentorship here at KW Valentine. Brandy Williams or her assistant Shanine will be reaching out to you to hopefully schedule a time for you to meet and with a productivity coach or to help assign you to a productivity coach. These are a lot of our amazing agents here who are going to be helping you guys as coaches. Our coaches here are great because they help to hold you accountable, especially when you're first starting out. They're going to help you with that goal setting, and they're going to help keep you true to that goal. So if you seem like you're going astray or you're not sure how to get to the next step and towards achieving it, they're going to be really, really instrumental in helping get you guys there. They all have very successful businesses that they carry, so they're happy to shed some of that information, or to share some of that information with you as well. So they are going to be really, really great people to get to know. The next little bit here as another part of that pillar of mentorship here, we have our T group partners. Our T group partners are phenomenal individuals, very seasoned agents as well, with successful businesses. They are all partners who are going to, again, help highlight some of that information that's valuable during those transactions. They're called T group partners because it's our transaction group partners. Each of you will be assigned one when you first onboard, and it happens within the first week or two. So if you haven't heard from me yet about who it is, it will be coming very shortly. But those T group partners are great. They're incredibly knowledgeable about different forms and the different things that you will encounter in a transaction. And we like to give you them as your first point of contact. So when you have a question, Sabre has 500 agents that she helps out. So if you want to go to your T group partner first, they're super helpful. You guys are within that program for about a year. They do meet weekly, so you guys can go to their weekly meetings. They're in person in conference rooms. I think the only one that is on Zoom is Rob Gillies. So if you guys are assigned to Rob Gilly, he does Monday evenings on Zoom to make it easy. We try to put dual career agents in Rob Gilly's group, for example. But these people are great. When I assign them to you, I'll tell you their meeting time. I'll give you their contact information. If anything doesn't seem like it's going to work out, if maybe, hey, Fridays or Thursdays aren't good for me, let me know, and I'm happy to reassign you to somebody who's going to be a little bit of a better fit, because we want you to take advantage of this resource. But they do meet in person. They've got so much knowledge, and they're happy to share it with you. And it's just another touch to really get comfortable and familiar with those contracts and things you'll be looking at. But here's all their wonderful faces. They are so, so sweet. And if you ever can't get a hold of your T group partner, maybe you have a quick question about something, please feel free. Maybe Connie's your partner, but you haven't heard from Connie in a minute. You're welcome to reach out to Carrie. Carrie's email is also listed there. So feel free to reach out to Carrie, because Carrie might be able to get back to you a little bit faster, and she'll have the answer as well. So feel free to use these individuals as much as you'd like. We recommend them. We strongly encourage you guys to go to their meetings. Again, just because that's another pillar in your mentorship, but it's going to help you guys get really comfortable and confident before you do that first transaction, or as you're building up and doing those transactions. The next little bit here, these are our first step partners. That's going to be that third pillar in our mentorship program, third and final. So our first step partners are here to help you with all things Valentine. So as you're first starting out, they're really strong helpers in our first 90 days. So your first 3 months here, they're going to be really, really instrumental in kind of guiding you guys. So if you have any questions, you're like, hey, where's the mailroom? Hey, where's this? How do I do this? Do you know this information? Please feel free to reach out to them. They'll also be contacting you just to give you a quick call, introduce themselves to you, see if there's anything they can do to help you right away. Another thing they'll do is they'll send out what we call our 30, 60, 90 ramp up. And that's going to be a checklist that kind of, again, just highlights the first 90 days that you're here. You do not have to follow it to a T, dot all the I's, but it is going to shed light on things that you can be doing immediately. So, hey, have you gone to a meeting with Jules and Leah yet? Hey, have you done this yet? Feel free to check out that checklist and use it kind of as a guide to help hold you accountable and give you some direction when you're first starting out, because again, it is very open-ended and we understand that. So these individuals are here to help you out with that and just reach out to you, make sure you're doing okay. They'll check in on you every couple of weeks just to make sure everything's all right. If everything is, you can call them back and just let them know. You don't have to call them back. They usually know that if you didn't call them back, that means that you're okay. But feel free to utilize them as much as you'd like. They're super helpful in getting you guys moving that first little bit. So please feel free to contact them. They'll be one of your new friends. Again, towards the bottom here, we just have access to different links. There's, again, easier ways to pull to this. So I'll show you that just in a bit. But we're going to navigate actually to frequently asked questions right here. So frequently asked questions, if you guys, again, maybe I don't know who to reach out to about this specific question. This is just going to give you kind of an overview of what you can reach out to certain people about. So if you have a question about commission requests, reach out to Lynn Davis. So you just have to hover over these tiles here and it'll tell you their point of contact and who you can reach out to. So if you have a question about a contract, you can contact Sabra. A question about DocuSign, you can contact Jules and Leah. So it just kind of gives you, again, a baseline of comprehending of who I can reach out to about different things. But as always, if you don't know who to reach out to about something, please do come to me first. I'm so happy to be that go-between and get you connected with who you need help from. So I like to say I don't have all the answers, but I know who does. So if you guys have any questions that you don't know who to talk to about it, come to me first and I'll get you connected with who can help you. The next little thing here that I'm going to show you is our on-demand training tab. It's actually going to be a password protected tab. And our password is actually going to be our Wi-Fi password. If you just take away the exclamation point, so you can just, whoa, there we go. That one, that's that. So our password is going to be a capital B, a lowercase a, m, c, and the number 350. So we're going to go ahead and type that in real quick. So capital B, lowercase a, m, c, the number 350. And it'll let us write in. So under on-demand training, if you were to click on this left-hand side here, it's actually going to navigate you to YouTube, and it is our YouTube channel as a market center. So what I do is for those reoccurring trainings like compliance orientation, KWB orientation, forms classes, team meetings, things like that, that's all going to be on this YouTube channel. So once a recording is processed from the Zoom call for that specific class, what I'll do is I'll pull it down, usually within a few days, and I'll get it uploaded. So say you couldn't make it to compliance orientation, something came up, there just wasn't a way for you to come. That's okay. You're welcome to come to the next one, but compliance orientation is one of those that comes every month. So maybe you don't want to wait 4 weeks to try and figure out compliance or just the baseline of compliance. You can go right here under compliance orientation. You can watch any of those recordings and get a little bit of information from Carla. Team meeting, same thing. If you miss a team meeting, that's quite all right. You can go onto the team meeting recordings and you can see what you might have missed and kind of catch up on that information. All of this predates back to the start of 2022. So any recordings on here, you're welcome to watch. Again, if you can't make it, of course, we encourage you guys try to make it into the office or live on Zoom, however you can, just because I think the information might be a little different when you hear it live. You can ask questions usually. But if this is something that can be helpful to you at any point, because if you couldn't make it to a class, please use it. Again, these are all the recurring trainings that we offer. So anything specific like win with sellers or things like that that are unique to trainings that are going to come more infrequently, we usually do not post those here. So those would be either something you have to reach out to me about to ask, or again, just because we try to encourage in-person attendance for those, those are not posted here. But just so you guys can kind of stay updated on everything all KWB. I'm going to close out of that real quick. On this right-hand side under Command on Demand, it's going to take you again to a YouTube channel, but this is Scott Leroy's YouTube channel, and I'm going to try and pause that right away because it plays so loud. When you go to Scott Leroy's YouTube channel, though, Scott Leroy, again, that third-party marketing consultant who's super instrumental in helping out with KW Tech, they are going to have an entire YouTube channel built up of different videos ranging from a couple minutes to maybe an hour of valuable information about KW Tech. So we've got tech tips, we've got classes, we've got command overview, webinars, digital marketing tips. They've got it all, and it's all broken down and organized very nicely for you, so you can really kind of touch base on the specific areas you're trying to learn in. But that's a really great resource as well, because especially maybe I couldn't do the 1 to 2 o'clock class. Is there maybe something they posted about it? Or, you know, maybe I just learned really, really well from tutorials. We're so welcome to use this at any point. Very helpful YouTube channel. I'm just going to close out of that real quick though, but super great content on there. Again, these are all their instructors that they have that already teach for them. So they're very, very knowledgeable individuals. There's a brief blurb here about Ignite. If you have just a general, little bit more information maybe about Ignite, you're welcome to look at that over, but no buttons, no nothing to kind of navigate you anywhere. So I won't harp on that too long. Under the Office Resources tab, if you highlight right here, actually, I would recommend don't click right away if you are trying to access advertising guidelines. For some reason, it didn't translate over when you do click it. So if you just hover your mouse over Office Resources, advertising guidelines is right here. Again, it's going to be password protected. It's that same password you guys both just wrote down. But under advertising guidelines, that's where you can find all the requirements for your business cards, all the requirements for flyers, things like that. All of that's going to be accessible to you through the advertising guidelines. But again, if you have specific questions, or if you're like me and you get extra nervous about anything and you really just want to make sure your specific template's okay, feel free to email Sabra or Tasha Viney. But again, those are going to be where you can find the advertising guidelines. But if you do click on Office Resources, again, password protected, same password that we just went over, so BAMC 350, it will take you to our Office Resources tab. our office resources tab under this left-hand side. I know we're both North Carolina licensed, so I'll show you this left-hand side as opposed to the right. But if either of you do South Carolina license, it'll just be the right-hand side here as opposed to the left. But on the left-hand side, general forms is where you can find some of our North Carolina forms. So Sabra actually built this Google Drive folder herself. This is all the forms that she felt were very frequently asked for that might not be in DocuSign. They might not be in zip forms, and that's okay. Again, not everything is going to be here. So if you can't find it here, I always recommend checking DocuSign and zip forms because that's where you can find a lot of them. But some things are going to be here that you might not find there, and vice versa. So please do check here at any point when you're trying to locate a form. And if you can't find it, please reach out to Carla. Sometimes she's really helpful. Reach out to your TV partner. They're very helpful. And they'll just kind of tell you, hey, this is where you can find it, or they might even just send it to you to make things a little quicker. But when you're under here, you can go right in. There's addendums here that are available to you. We've got stuff about our title agreements, our partnerships with Heritage Title. We've got referral forms. We've got W-9s in here. So all of those forms that you may come across that you might need, please do. Septic and sewers here. Please do check this folder. Again, just easy access to a lot of those forms you may be realizing you need in a transaction. We want you to have easy access to them. So again, it's just going to be under that Office Resources tab under Get Forms. The next thing that I'm going to show you is right, actually to the right of it, under Office Checklist. Again, it'll be a Google Drive folder. You just click Get Checklist. This is a folder, again, built up by Sabra. And these checklists are super valuable. She actually devised them herself, drafted them and everything. They are just checklists, and we'll go under maybe North Carolina buyer that cover all the basics for the given transaction. So they're specific to North Carolina buyer, North Carolina listing, South Carolina, all the things. But they are super, super helpful. They just kind of go over, again, what you can be expecting, when things are due by, what needs to happen in this transaction. And you are so welcome to lean on them as much as you'd like, especially when you're first getting comfortable with these transactions. Maybe it's not muscle memory yet, and that's okay. Use these checklists as much as you'd like to. I always say that you are welcome to print them off. I know a couple of agents will print them off. If you do print them off, maybe don't show them to your client, but have them in the back of the folder ready to go if you have any quick questions to review. But yes, she has made these checklists as simple as she can for you, but just to kind of help keep you guys confident and help keep track of everything going on. And they're, like I said, they're checklists, so you can literally sit there and check off the boxes so you know you've done everything in the process. But she's got them for South Carolina, North Carolina, both. So check out these checklists as much as you like. I'm going to close out of that folder. Again, super, super helpful. On the bottom, or the next little bit here, we've got CE Shop. So if you guys are working on post licensing, maybe you do want to get your license in South Carolina, we do partner very closely with CE Shop. We actually have a dual branded website with them. So because of that, we do get deals that are run very commonly. And you guys can take advantage of those deals. You just scroll a little bit, go to the home page here and just scroll a little bit further. And they usually, it's not the home page. I've failed you. I'm so sorry. So, but under exam prep, things like that, you guys can find. So if you want to do your South Carolina, we'll go get your license for South Carolina. If you want to be a salesperson, just scroll, and we've got here, you can see the deals that they've run, and you guys can take advantage of it. They tell you the code right there, but they also share packages with you, and they show you the discount if you apply certain things. They show you monthly payment breakdown. It's really, really helpful, and they offer so many great resources. Another really cool feature to CE Shop is they do offer a free trial. So if you guys, maybe you did Superior in person to get your license in North Carolina, that is very popular. But maybe you've been wondering, hey, would I do okay at self-paced? Is that something that would be, is that something that would work for me in my learning style? And that's a very valid question, because sometimes it is easy for somebody to do. Sometimes it's a little more challenging. So if you guys have ever been curious, or now that you know, you can always start a free trial though with CE Shop, and you guys can test it out for a week, see what some of the questions are like, see how it would work, and then just decide from there if that would be something that would work for you. Again, it's no commitment, so you don't have to pay for it at the end if it's not applicable to your learning style. But if it is, great, go ahead and run with it. You've already tested out a little bit of it, but they do offer all these different states and more. So maybe I'm from Ohio and I've got family there, and I'd love to be able to help them with real estate. They've got all these different states that they offer assistance with. So please do check it out. They also have post licensing options here. Just a lot of really great option for you guys as you branch out and maybe are trying to complete different things. They're super, super helpful. CE, all that great stuff. They've got it all. The only other thing that I really like to touch on while I'm on this website is I do like to show you guys under Agent Essentials. If you guys were to click on Hot Topics, it will show you, again, just a series of content. We've got blogs, ebooks, podcasts, and videos all available to you here. So not only is it something that you can either learn from yourself or just find like chuckle, funny, entertaining. You guys are more than welcome to read this yourself, but you can also go ahead and share it to your social media. I know that that's also been something that, again, can direct traffic to your page. So please feel free to use it anytime you'd like. I know that at Halloween, they had done something where it's like how to sell a haunted house. They had one that was like DIY failures. So just something kind of funny. So just all this great content and more, something that you can chuckle about. See, DIY, why did I do this? So please feel free to look at this over, use any of it you'd like, learn from it yourself, share it with a client, share it on your page, any of that and more. But just wanted to show you guys that this is available to you because it is all real estate related. So it's really great content that you can share just to kind of diversify your feed. So I'm just going to close out a CE shop really quickly. But again, that's all right here under Find Classes. We also have the Valentine floor plan. Never once have I referenced that. I will be honest, and I work here on staff. I doubt you guys will ever reference it. But if you ever feel for some reason you have to, that's where you can find it. That's the Valentine floor plan. But a little bit further down, again, under office resources, we've got our numbers to know. And I would say that that's important. So as you guys maybe are getting that South Carolina license, you may need our firm license number. You may need our canopy ID, things like that. That's all available to you right here as a one-stop shop. If there's any numbers you notice that maybe you might need to find for some reason, but it's not available here, feel free to reach out to me or Sabra herself or your T group partner. They may know them top of mind. But again, this is a really good stopping point if you ever come across, what's your firm license number? Oh, well, it's right here, South Carolina and North Carolina. So do feel free to use that anytime you like. Again, this is all under office resources. It's that password protected tab, but you guys have the password now. And if you forget it, feel free to shoot me an email and I'm happy to give it to you. Under office calendar here, like I said, it'll just drag and drop you right where you need to. I'm not going to touch on it too much more, but it's just going to drag and drop you right where you need to go. Again, this is actually linked to a Google Calendar that I operate off of. So it is a very seamless transition. So if you guys ever notice anything doesn't seem quite right, just shoot me a quick email. I can go in to the Google Calendar and change it right then and there. And then as soon as you refresh the page, it'll be reflected here. So please do let me know if anything seems funny or you have any questions. I do like to hear all the feedback I can. Under tech resources, I'm not necessarily going to click on too much of it, but if you go under tech resources, there are Tech Tuesday calendars. So you can see the different content and the different topics that Jules and Leah will be teaching on. They do teach 1 to 3 o'clock every Tuesday. That's an in-person or a Zoom class. They're very, very helpful in what they know. Again, they'll touch on command as a whole and just helping you navigate with it, but they also will go over Facebook ads. They also will go over digital marketing platforms and landing pages and all that great stuff. So they've got so much information to share with you. So please do feel free to check out their tech calendar. Again, you can find it on our main calendar as well. But if it's easier for you to look at it this way, please do. The next thing I will actually click on though, Marty Miller for Teams, for example. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to pause it. It'll take you to the Marty Miller for Teams YouTube channel. I thought I paused it. The Marty Miller for Teams YouTube channel is a 66-day challenge for you. And it just goes over how you guys can help get your digital presence set up. So it's how you guys can alter something on your website, how you can change your profile to this, just different steps and tips. Again, each one looks like they're no more than 10 minutes long, but it's taking it a day at a time so that you guys can do it, chunk it a little bit easier. So it's less overwhelming and you guys can really take it in all in and it keeps it simple. So please do feel free to check out the Marty Miller Day Challenge. I know Abby Wilson, our assistant team leader, swears by it. She loves it. Everybody who joins her team or her sister, who's her admin, she is all over it. She tells them all that they have to do Marty Miller for Teams. So do check this out. There's a lot of value in that. And it does, again, make it a little bit less overwhelming as you go through trying to set up some of that tech presence. But again, Jules and Leah are a great resource as well. So if you have any questions, maybe Marty Miller for Teams didn't quite make sense that day, feel free to ask them because they're super helpful. I'm going to close out. Again, still under the tech resources, we've got answers.kw.com. We already touched on that, but it's just another way to pull to that content. We've got Scott Leroy marketing, command, all that. So again, another way to pull to all of that content. We've already touched on it, so I'm not going to necessarily hold you guys down and make you watch it again. But under helpful links, we've got our new associates page. That's that first page that we looked over. Again, just easy ways to pull the things. We've got a prayer request form as well. So you guys are our family. So welcome to the family. But you guys are our family, and we take very seriously making sure that everything's well with you and your family, your friends, your loved ones, anything like that. So if there's if there's ever anything going on in your personal lives you would like us to know about, please feel free. You can either shoot us an email, but if you would like to keep it maybe anonymous, you guys can send out a prayer request form. And that prayer request form goes to us. You guys can even say, hey, I only want to keep this within leadership. Hey, I only want it to be, a few other people who maybe know about it, or actually more prayer power is super helpful to me. So if you guys could share that, not even anonymously within the Market Center, that'd be really important to me. So please feel free to fill that out at any point, because we do want to make sure everything's well with you guys. KW Cares is our charity organization as a whole for Keller Williams, but Valentine has their own KW Cares fund. And you'll notice at a lot of the events, we always have a KW Cares jar out there. So we ask if you guys want to donate to it, but that KW Cares jar is used to help our agents out in their time of need. So if you ever know, even maybe if it's not you, but there's somebody that you care a lot about in our Market Center who's really struggling, let us know, because we're happy to take the funds from that and use it towards helping them if we can. So please let us know if there's anything ever going on, and that's a really easy way for you guys to do that. Again, an access point to Kellerism, an access point to scheduling a conference room. We do have a strategic vendor partner spreadsheet. So maybe, hey, I'm not a part of the Facebook page yet. Who can I talk to? This is a spreadsheet that's all of who our vendor partners are. So you can go through, it'll actually break it down by what they do. You can see who the point of contact is, where they work for, what their name is. We've got their email, we've got their phone number, we've got what their services are, all that great stuff and more. And again, it's all broken down by their field and their industry. So we've got home warranties, we've got housing, we've got HVAC. And if there's ever somebody that we don't have, like landscaping services, if you worked with somebody that's really great, let us know. Let Rob Conkle know. He actually runs the vendor program right now. And I'm not sure if his email is at the top here, but if not, again, shoot me an email and I'll get you guys connected. But let us know, because we'd love to add more amazing vendors to our spreadsheet. But these are all really great people that you guys can reach out to and get quotes from for your clients right away. So let me go ahead. I'm just going to close out of that real quick. But again, you guys can get to that from the helpful links. It's just right here under strategic vendor partners. We also have a couple other Think Like a CEO podcast, just a really great podcast to help motivate you and give you that business mindset. We've got book recommendations. Keller Inc. is where you guys can buy certain books. We have a couple available here in the Market Center if you're ever interested. You guys can buy books directly from Keller Inc. Outfront Magazine is another thing through Keller Williams International. I will say one notable element to the Outfront Magazine is, again, if you guys are really heavy in social media as your platform, Outfront Magazine understands, especially that, sometimes it's kind of hard to figure out what you should be posting. So every month, Outfront Magazine will release a social calendar, and it gives you an idea of something you can post every single day. So that's a really great reference as well. They update it again monthly, and they'll give you something every single day, what you guys can be sharing on your feed. So please feel free to use that if you ever need inspiration or some kind of guidance. And the last thing I will show you guys today is this I Need Tech Help button. You click right there in the upper right corner, it will drop you directly to Jules and Leah's calendar. And you guys can click right on it and see, oh, look, they've got a 12:30 today. I would love to meet with them at 12:30. It's a 30-minute consultation where they can help you guys to troubleshoot. They can help go over packages if you guys want to use them as a leverage point. Feel free to use this as much as you'd like. I think they try to limit it to 1 or 2 meetings a week, and you'll have to double check with them as opposed to me. But I know they do try to limit it just so they have time to meet with as many as they can. But if you guys think, hey, I'd do much better with an in-person conversation, or hey, I want them to actually show me what to do on my laptop as opposed to shooting me an email back, they're so amazing, super, super friendly. They have the cutest office. So if you meet with them, you'll love it. So do feel free to use their calendar. Again, they have all these opportunities for you guys to sit and just speak with them. Super, super helpful. I'm gonna close out of that. And I know I just word vomited much, but that is the gist of KWB resources. There's so much information on there, and I know it takes a lot to digest, and that's okay. That's the reaction everyone has, so don't feel like you're alone. It is so much information. So my first recommendation is go home at your first convenience or opportunity. Just walk yourself through the website again, just play around, see what you remember, see what you don't. If there's any points of confusion or questions, you can email me right away. I'm happy to go ahead and show you how to do it, pull that information for you, whatever I can do to assist you. But the easiest way to try and make sure that you are comfortable with it, is just to walk yourself through it again. But if there's any questions as of right now that stood out to you guys, I'm happy to answer them for you in relation to the website. Is there anything that I can answer for you guys? It's okay. And it's also okay if there's so much information you don't have a question yet. That's okay too, because that happens. Yes. So you can get to MLS this way. And again, it'll just have you log in. So once you have a login information, basically as part of onboarding. So Lynn right now is assisting Sabra. So Lynn will be sending out all of your information to Canopy to get you affiliated. And it usually, I would say, takes like about a week or so. They'll usually contact you through phone. They'll give you a phone call and say, hey, this is Canopy. We want to go over payment information with you. You'll give them payment information over the phone, and they'll go ahead and get you set up right then and there. So that usually takes a little bit longer, and that's more like them going through their onslaught of people. You don't necessarily get the email confirmation of, hey, your paperwork's been sent out by Lynn, but it has been sent out. And that's just part of like initial onboarding. As soon as you submit your paperwork and you go, when I send you an email that says you've gone into the system, Lynn's already sent out your stuff to Canopy. So usually within a week or so. Yeah. Yes, probably just answer it to be safe. It might be a robocall, and I'm so sorry. But I would always say just answer the phone in the next week or so if you see an unknown number, just because they are going to be reaching out to you, usually by phone, and they'll just cover payment information. They'll get you set up. And that's also a really great opportunity. If you guys have any questions more specific to Canopy or MLS, I always say take that time to ask them anything that you'd like. But usually it really is as simple as, hey, what's your payment information? Cool. Here's the information you need to set up. I think there's an orientation you have to do with Canopy. And they'll tell you about that then as well, or you can inquire about that on the phone call. But yes, they will be reaching out to you through phone to get you all set up. So, all right, I'm gonna close out, but that is a way for you to get access to their hub where you can just log in with your login information, and that'll come when they take your payment information. So yeah, so Super Key, I think, is through them as well. And you can ask them about that when they call you. But they will be, when they do contact you, that's where you guys, I think your information will go towards Super Key as well. To my understanding, again, I'm a little less familiar with that, but I'm happy to reach out to somebody and get a more specific answer if you'd like. But when they do call you, ask them about Super Key, and they'll give you the kind of step-by-step as to how you need to set that up if it's not directly through them. But I think that it would be through them as well. Is there anything else maybe that stands out? Stephanie, no? Okay. All right. And then Ian, is there? Oh, you said no, right?
No.
Okay.
I'm
okay.
good.
I was like, oh, wait. I was like, maybe she said something. Okay. Okay. Good. And then Ian, is there anything else that might stand out? And it's okay if not right now.
Well, just for tonight, I had asked you about September.
Yep. So for Ignite, as of right now, there is no in-person registration. I will send out a Zoom link. So again, we always encourage in-person attendance for anything we're offering, Ignite being one of those. There is no registration for you to come in person. We just have a Zoom link for you to be able to register to participate via Zoom, and that can be session specific. So maybe one Friday you just can't come. You can do a Zoom that day. But for right now, no registration. That might change come September just because of the way we're going to have to kind of redo it. Because it's going to be, instead of 9 sessions, it's actually going to be going to 20 sessions. Yeah, it's a bit. So it's going to be, I mean, it'll be a lot more information, and there's the way we've talked about it, because we already met on a couple of times. We just don't have specific dates yet. When we do the September one, it will be not only in person, but there's going to be like a workshop opportunity every day. So like 1 hour at the end of, or towards the end of Ignite, it's still part of Ignite, but it'll be 2 hours of learning, 1 hour of workshop where you guys will be in the hub and like actually lead genning, actually doing this and that. So it's going to be definitely, it'll be Monday through Friday for 4 weeks, basically. So it will be a bigger commitment in terms of time. But yes, it'll still be in the same window. So it's just gonna be, it's gonna look a little different, and that's also new to us. Like they just released this new material, so we were like, you know what, we're gonna run with July as is, just to keep it easy, because we didn't have enough time to change everything for July. So July is gonna stay the same as again, still accurate and valuable information. So July is going to stay 9 sessions, but September we're looking to try and employ that new, it'll be 20 sessions. And that's part of why we haven't come up with dates and times yet, because we're looking and we're like, okay, well, Ignite used to be just Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and now we have Tuesday and Thursday mornings, like for example, orientation. We're like, we're going to have to move a lot. So we haven't come up exactly with dates just yet. We've also got some other things coming to the market center that we need to try and work around as well. So as soon as we have a better idea of actual dates and times, well, times will stay the same. As soon as we have a better idea of dates, I'll be able to shoot that over. It's likely that it will be for the majority of the month, obviously with 20 sessions. Yeah, but it's a little bit, it's hard to say just because, again, I'm not sure when we're going to be starting it. It might do like a half and half. I don't, so I'll keep you updated as soon as I find that out. But with July, again, you can hop on a Zoom call if that's easier. If you've got to be home, but you think maybe you can just listen in and, hey, okay, Zoom's not working in July. I'm so sorry. Let me know. And then we can definitely try and still talk about September, but at least you gave it a try and that there's no pressure. Whatever works best for your life is the most important thing. We're trying our best not to inconvenience anybody with any of it. So do let me know. I'm happy to, like I said, get you set up for July or get you set up for September, but regardless, for the time being, there's no registration required to do it. You just come in and eager to learn attitude. So, but okay, if there's anything that does arise registration wise for September, I'll definitely let you know, just so you know, hey, drop your name in for this. But I don't think that it might, but I don't know. I don't think that we would necessarily change it because we've had just as find success not having a registration link for it and just having that accountability of just keep coming in because we're going to run numbers, things like that. Mm-hmm. So there's not a Zoom link yet. And I realized that actually while we were going over, I have the Zoom link. I just don't have it on the calendar. Okay. And that's as simple as me literally just going in and typing that up. And when I get back to my desk, and I'll do that right away. But
essentially, if I decide I have a Zoom
mm-hmm.